Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're totally elevating the stakes. I want you to go ahead and step into a brand new role right now. You are the newly appointed CEO of your own life. When we look at high-level executives and that top 1% of performers, they do not operate by just, hoping for the best or scrambling through their daily fires. No way. They rely on concrete, predictable systems. So we're going to look directly at the blueprint they use, breaking down 5 absolutely crucial core systems that are going to completely upgrade how you operate. All right, let's dive right into this. First things first, we really have to dismantle a massive myth here. The idea that success requires some endless, exhausting daily grind. Look at the reactive responder on the left. This is where most people get stuck, right? They're relying on fleeting willpower, constantly putting out whatever fires pop up, and feeling totally overwhelmed by the evening when their mental fuel tank is just completely empty. But then on the right, we have the systemized leader. Top performers don't actually work harder. They build repeatable systems. They proactively protect their time, and they execute almost automatically. They know that willpower is biological. It literally runs out. Systems, on the other hand, do the heavy lifting for you. So here's our visual roadmap to transition you from those reactive bad habits to a proactive schedule. We're going to cover 1, your core values blueprint, 2, health and sleep, 3, treating your calendar as assets, 4, automated execution, and 5, review and adjust. Starting us off with System 1, the core values blueprint. Look, before you even think about building daily routines or optimizing your time, you, as an executive, must identify your core values. Because, let's be real, there's absolutely no point in climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall. Your daily systems have to actually serve your true long-term goals. So, step 1 is defining your intrinsic goals, creating a life compass, to figure out what you genuinely care about, not just what society expects from you. Step 2 is turning that into a 3-year vision sketch. And step 3 makes it actionable by breaking the whole thing down into 90-day quarterly quests. This guarantees you have a step-by-step process for your ambition, completely replacing that bad habit of setting vague resolutions that always seem to fall apart by February. Moving right along to System 2, health and sleep. Okay, once your direction is set, you literally need the physical capacity to execute. Health is an executive non-negotiable. It's not a luxury. As the source material so perfectly asks, if you don't feel good about yourself, how helpful are you going to be to your team? It's such a profound question. Operating in a peak state amplifies your energy, your focus, and your patience. If you're exhausted, well, you're going to make bad decisions in high-pressure moments, and that ends up costing you way more than the hour you supposedly saved by skipping your workout or cutting your sleep short. To really lock this in, here is a simple daily checklist for your health operating system. Make sure you sleep 8 hours. Set a hard device bedtime at 9:30 p.m. View morning sunlight to set your circadian rhythm. Block your morning workouts in your calendar exactly like they are high-stakes business meetings. And batch your meal prep. That way, you aren't suffering from decision fatigue every single time you get hungry. This simple system completely removes the guesswork and naturally pulls you right into healthy behaviors. All right, next up is System 3, calendar as assets. We really need to shift your mindset away from simple time management and over to asset management. I want you to treat your calendar exactly like a financial portfolio. 168, that is the exact number of hours every single one of us gets in a week, no exceptions. If you subtract sleep, you have about 100 hours. Actually, probably a bit less when you factor in basic survival tasks. But if you treat every single one of those remaining hours as a financial investment, it instantly reframes the cost of a distraction. If your time was literally money, would you spend it just scrolling on your phone or sitting in a useless meeting? Probably not. The divide here between leaders and responders is just massive. A Harvard Business School study analyzed top executives and found they spend 43% of their time on pre-planned strategic moves. The rest of the world, they spend their day entirely in that 57% reactive mode, answering Slack pings, dealing with emails, and essentially letting other people spend their time like it's theirs. Scarcity creates value, folks. You've got to guard your time. So to take control of those 168 hours, top executives set up their strategy before the week even begins. On Sunday, you set the weekly strategy. It's like treating your week like quarters in a football game. Monday is for executing your top priority, not firefighting. Wednesday is completely locked in for deep work, and Friday is for measuring your successful outcomes. When you decide the exact play before the game even starts, you smoothly transition from reactive daily habits to a highly proactive systemized schedule. Let's keep building. Here is System 4, Automated Execution. Now, this is where we turn that strategy into inevitable action by utilizing simple rules. We are essentially programming an algorithm for your brain using if-then constraints. Think about it. We often avoid hard things because of emotion, the discomfort, or maybe self-doubt. But if you program an algorithm, you drop the emotion entirely. If I feel the urge to check my email during deep work, then I stop and take a 5-minute walk. If it's 9 a.m. on Thursday, then my phone automatically goes on airplane mode. Research actually shows that standard goal setters fail about 62% of the time. But if-then planners, they drop their failure rate down to just 9%. You take out the drama, and you just run the code. You also really need to back up those rules with forcing functions. Back in 1519, the explorer Hernan Cortés famously ordered his men to sink their own ships. Retreat was simply not an option. They had to win. Well, you can sink your own ships by publicizing your goals, putting down financial stakes early, and implementing negative constraints, like intentionally removing distractions and completely deleting distracting apps. Finally, set hard time box windows. Give a task exactly 90 minutes and ship it the second that timer rings. And you might be wondering, why are those constraints so necessary? Because research shows that once you're interrupted, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds just to return to your original task. That is the massive hidden cost of digital interruptions. You must ruthlessly protect a 90-minute daily window for deep work. Turn off all notifications. Close Slack. Your goals literally depend on it. Finally, we arrive at System 5, Review and Adjust. Look, just like a high-stakes corporate turnaround, you have to continually monitor your progress and adapt to changing conditions. The absolutely crucial tool here is a daily 15-minute review. At the end of every single day, just ask yourself, what worked today? What didn't work? What am I moving around tomorrow to ensure a successful day? A Harvard Business School study found that workers who spent just 15 minutes at the end of each day reflecting on what they learned performed 23% better after just 10 days. Just 15 minutes to basically double your productivity and ensure tomorrow is always better than today. In addition to those daily reviews, you really should utilize a weekly review checklist. Even world-class surgeons and pilots rely on checklists to prevent unforced errors when they're under pressure. Your checklists act as a safety net. You can categorize them into 3 simple areas: the to-do list, which focuses on weekly execution, the to-want list for life expansion, and the to-be list for your personal evolution. Doing this clears your cognitive load, so your brain is freed up to comfortably focus on doing the really hard things. Now, what ties all 5 of these systems together? Repetition. The act of executing a system so frequently that it creates a predictable biological cadence. When Harvard researchers scanned the brains of meditating monks, they didn't find them struggling. They found beautiful, synchronized resonance. They weren't using motivation, because motivation doesn't drive repetition. Repetition drives motivation. Over time, your biology just takes over, naturally pulling you forward and eventually making the hard things feel completely automatic. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, from defining your core values and building a solid health foundation, all the way to treating your calendar like a financial asset, automating your execution, and reviewing your progress. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What is the very first executive decision you will make today to upgrade your system? Don't try to change your entire life tonight. Just step into your CEO role by deploying exactly one of these systems tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.